Today we have Twylla joining us. Twylla is a self-proclaimed hair wizard doing magic with hair. She's a salon owner of Lumos Knox. She is a Sam ambassador and Redken artist. She's adventured throughout the industry, working backstage at shows, creating photo shoots. She has taught nationally for Redken, and she's worked in a lot of different salon atmospheres. She's got a lot of passion and professionalism, but she's also really, really fun. So everyone in the chat, let's welcome the awesome Twylla Jane.
Hello, everyone. It's nice to see you on this fine day, Andrew. Nice to see you as well. All right. So today, what I have planned for you all is when I got to go out and do the Sambia photo shoot in Austin, Texas, we had this model Elle, and she was stunning. And one of the videos actually that we created, one of the training videos or educational videos that we created was Elle's curl set. So that was one of the videos that I recorded. And then we got to play the rest of the weekend and get as much content as we could. And so one of the styles that we did on Elle is we took her curly hair and we pinned it up into this kind of like fun, avant-garde, but playful space bun style of look, which space buns are huge right now. Give me a shout out if you have heard of space buns in the chat. Give me a yes, I've heard of them. Or if you haven't, let me know that you haven't heard of this trend yet. The thing that I like about this trend is that there are so many different ways to do it. I love I didn't really realize it until recently, but space buns are very much messy buns. So like when I was younger, I can't believe that I'm finally the stylist talking about back in my day. But when I was younger, it was like the messy bun. And so you like put this big old bun on top of your head, and whoever's like could be the messiest, but like most perfect messy, like you were the winner of the day. And I remember everyone, it was just the thing. And so space buns are ultimately like two of those on top of your head, but they have evolved over time, and you see a lot of different renditions of them. So this one is, like I said, we're going to do a more like formal kind of pretty one. I see here that some people say, yes, I love them for every age. I love the look, but feel like I don't have enough hair for it. That's a good one. I would actually, depending on how quickly we get through this look, I do have a second mannequin here that even if you don't have a lot of hair, Tara, I feel like you could get this look to work. It was one that I saw a similar version of it, and I got inspired by it on TikTok from a gal who had short hair. And it was a really cool way to create that space bun look on like shorter hair or somebody that doesn't have a ton of hair. I don't have a lot of hair, and I've got my little buns going back here. So yes. So anyways, space buns, generally space buns are going to live like on top of the head. They kind of like sit up here. I don't know why we call them space buns, to be honest with you, but I'm into it. I should have maybe like Urban Dictionary that today. I also see some people, I see Dot says they have not heard of this trend. I bet you now, Dot, since we're saying it and it's coming over your phone or your computer, wherever you're watching this, it's going to pop up on your Instagram or your TikTok or whatever, because, you know, they're always listening and then giving us more of what we've heard. So right now what I'm doing is a curl set, and I'm doing a wrapped curl set. I'm using my Sambia 1-inch 2-in-1 iron. So my habit as a stylist, I think that we always have lots of different types of stylists. My habit is to just open this and to wrap around it. So bringing your iron up vertically, bringing the hair through and wrapping around. Now, the great thing about this iron is that if you are someone that doesn't quite have that type of dexterity, you can actually pull off the spoon. Here you can detach it, which will make it much easier for some of you. So my habit is to just open it up because I learned how to do these curls with just a traditional iron back in the day. So I'm taking bigger sections here. The idea, I think, like when I'm teaching you techniques, usually what I'm looking for is something that's photographable for you. So Star Wars started it. Hope said, I love that. Star Wars started it. That's a good fact. That's a good Jeopardy fact. So where was I? Holding the iron vertically, Sections I'm taking. I got distracted by Star Wars as usual. So taking about 1 inch, 1 1/4 inch sections, and then wrapping these around. So what I was saying too is that my techniques that I like to share with you guys is stuff that you're going to be able to photograph multiple times. So we're going to go in and, comb out this technique. You'd be able to take some photographs for your Instagram if you wanted to, and then we're going to shift it into these space buns so that you could get a couple more photographs of your work. And it's about getting something like nice and quick. And I think that your audience, who should be your clients for the most part, unless you're somebody that educates hairdressers as well, like I do, they like to see versatility. And I think too, like, do you have those clients that you just love to spend time with? How many of you, give me like a thumbs up in the chat or a smiley face in the chat if you have those clients that you just love to hang out with them? So for me, sometimes I'm like, I want to spend a little bit more time with this person. What can I whip their hair up into just so we can finish our conversation? I don't have to be to my next guest right away. I know I need to eat lunch, but it'll take me 2 seconds. So I want to give this client an experience. So that's another thing that these kinds of quick techniques that I like to share with you guys are for. All right, so I love here that Dot pointed out that I'm holding these sections after I do them as well. So I've got a few more sections here that I'm going to curl, and I'm going to give you some tips about what it is while I'm curling this. So I'll kind of set you up for like who this is for, how you can throw this into your day and work it into what you're doing behind the chair, and that not everything has to necessarily be like book doesn't updo. It can just be like a fun thing. So I see lots of thumbs up. I'm glad that you guys like your clients and want to hang out with them a little bit extra like me. Okay, so what I'm doing as well, you'll see here, is curling back and forth. So I'm switching the way that we're doing these curls. So here I wrapped backwards. Then on the one above it, we wrapped forwards. So now we're going to wrap backwards again. And what this is going to do when we switch around the way that we're doing the curls is just give us some more volume, give us a little bit more playfulness. So for someone that maybe doesn't have a lot of hair, we want to make their hair look fuller, switching your curls back and forth can kind of help, not kind of help, it does help push that volume out, give them more to sit on top of each other as opposed to everything falling in on itself and giving like a smooth, sleek look. So when you've got somebody that has a lot of hair, it's good to curl everything in the same direction if you want to kind of get it all to squish together a little bit more. So wrapping it around, this one I've wrapped backwards away from the face. I can see my iron has been on long enough that the auto shut off feature just turned itself off. We love a safety feature. Okay, so hopefully we feel that. Yep. Okay, so what I'm doing then too is dropping it down into my hand. So to help give this hair, again, a little extra volume, some more like that sound, it makes, it makes that sound. So that it has a little bit more like oomph to it. I like to squeeze it, let it cool off in my hands. And you can see how much bouncier that gets than just letting it fall and cool with the weight coming down on it. So you don't have to let it get all the way cool. You're just kind of feeling for it to cool down in your hands so that it's not like hot. Okay, so we did that one backwards. So now we're going to do this one forwards. And you can see as well that we are what we would call bricklaying here. So this next section is coming between the two curls below it. So it'll fall right on top of those. So again, just another tip for building more volume is to not put all the rows right on top of each other. Okay, so we curled that one backwards. So now we'll curl this one forward, coming in vertically with our iron and wrapping it around. Now, when you do these wrap curls, you are looking for that tendril that you're holding on to actually start to rope around. You don't want to undo that and make it flat, or else you'll just get a normal curl. So you are looking for that to start spinning. I have these nice long acrylics so I can get all the way to the end without burning myself. Am I using Redken iron shape? I am. I have the old packaging here, so I've been hiding it from you. But I am using Redken iron shape. It's actually called, we changed the name and we changed the packaging of it. Oh gosh, Heat. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember what it's called. But it comes in a skinny red bottle. It actually looks quite a bit like Quick Blowout's new packaging. It comes in a skinny bottle like this. It's a little bit taller. It's called, I think, Thermal Protect or something like that. But it's a number 11 still, and it comes in like this bottle is see-through. The new bottle for it is not see-through. So we did do a repackaging for Redken, and I love it. Okay. I realized this morning that I didn't have the new packaging for that. I was like, oh no. All right, so we went forward here. So now we're going to move backwards. Again, vertical sections, letting that rope around as it comes. I feel like any hairdresser that you do these types of curl sets, you get all these little burns on your hand, and then eventually you have calluses and you don't burn anymore. All right, so that one's heated up. We're going to slide it off. And then I'm going to take it and smash it so it gets more curl and oomph to it. Some people too like to hit it with a hairspray to cool it off. Right now, she actually has quite a bit of product in her hair. So what I don't want to do is layer a little bit more on there, make it sticky. Sometimes too, hitting it with hairspray, if you've got a really good foundation of products in and you start spraying a lot of hairspray, you lose shine in your photographs. So I don't know if you've ever seen that, but a lot of hairspray can cause you to lose some shine in your photos. To combat that, you can use shine spray and it'll break down a little bit of that hairspray. So if you do have that happen, a little bit of shine spray can kind of help that go in reverse. All right, so now what we're going to do is, I know this whole right side has cooled off. So I'm going to start to rake my fingers through this right side. And we're just going to break these curls up a bit because we are going to start to pull this hair up. And then let's spin her this way. We'll break these curls up as well. You can see this side is even a little bit curlier than the other side. Ooh, the other side had some time to fall. This is fun. Okay, bring her up a little bit higher for you so you can see here. So now what we're going to do is we would photograph this. One of the things, this is just a nice tip for you right now. One of the things I've been seeing people do, and I was like, what a great idea. So I've actually started doing it myself, is taking a video of the hairstyles that you're doing from a bunch of different angles. Then you can actually pause the videos and do screenshots of them. We're finding that with the new phone cameras, that sometimes the videos are giving us truer color. So they're giving us the truer read of the color and the style that we did. You're getting a little more shine reflect, whereas the photo camera starts to auto-correct itself. So loving that hot tip to take videos and then take screenshots from your videos. But even still, you're seeing videos perform really well on social. Also takes up, you don't have as many, like when you're swiping through, takes up less visual room, not less space, but less visual room in your actual photo album. Okay, so we're gonna work side to side. We're gonna split this from top to bottom down the middle. I'm gonna do a straight part, but you could do a zigzag part if you want to give it a little bit more visual confusion as you're working through. And we're going to decide how high we want to put this on our guest. So looking at their face shape, if you want to really elevate and bring it up like right back here into the crown, you can do that. If you want to bring it all the way on top of the head, that'll give you a little bit more like playfulness. I think that gives if they were going to go out for the night, I think putting it like right up here on top of the head is like this very like kind of Bambi cute fun look. But what I'm going to do is separate the front, and you'll see that we've taken a diagonal forward sectioning. I'll clean that up a bit there so it's more clear. Diagonal forward section, you can see that I've got a little bit of that front hairline right in front of the ear that I'm going to elevate back up here. So with this stuff, I'll be able to get some volume over the top of the look. But right now I'm going to take diagonal from the apex, which is about where I'm going to sit this on top of the head, to that front hairline. And then what I'm going to do is gently start to lift this up. So I'm actually not even going to use a brush right now. I'm just going to use my fingers to pull this up because we want this kind of messy, fun look here. Let me go ahead and pin that front out of the way so y'all can see a little bit better. Here we go. So again, lifting it out first and then starting to use my fingernails really in this situation to pull this all the way up to where we want to see it. And the tension, we're not going super tight. We want this like nice little playful spin to it. So then what I actually am going to do is give a small twist up top. So give a small twist to the top of the section, which is just going to allow some tension so that now I can go through and loosen up a couple bits here, make this a little bit messier, because the goal is like we want this pretty but messy type of look. So then I'm going to come through with an elastic And I like to double up elastics just in case one breaks down. So I've got the little plastic elastics. Again, I'm going to pinch right at the top of this section where we want that hair, and then put this in a ponytail. So I love this tip I learned from Sam B. I use it all the time. Give this some twists until it's tight, and then wrap it back around. That keeps you from doing the back and forth, back and forth, back and forth as you wrap, because now when you get this all the way pulled through, it should be nice and tight for you. So from here, I want that to be snug to the top of the head. So I'm going to tighten it from the top. So you can see we've got a nice little bump. And now let's go through, break up these curls a little bit here. Yeah. And we're going to start to pin this up in a messy and twirl it around in a messy shape. And we want to leave some of these ends out. So let me show you this from the front or from a more of a side. So we've taken it, wrapped it. We want it messy. And let's start by leaving some of these little pieces out. And now we're going to pin. So tip for pinning, take your bobby pin right where your fingers are. So press your fingers all the way down to the scalp. You're going to run your bobby pin right along where your fingers are holding it, right where your little fingertips are. Again, take the pin, press it right along your finger down to the scalp, cross those two pins, and it should stay in place. Because where your fingers were was right where our long fingernails recommended as a tool for this style. Tara, they do help. Long nails are always a great tool, but I know they're not for everyone. But no, you can do this with your regular fingertips too, I promise. All right. Yeah, from here, I'm just going to pop another one on this side. So I've got one that went in the back, one in the front. Since I've got these curls, I've got some weight here. So I'm going to grab one of these, pin it in, try to X those two that we put in previously, crossing everything over each other will make sure it stays in place. Okay, so now we've got that. Loving it. Now we're going to bring this front up into it as well. So here we can decide, do we want to leave some stuff around the face? This is very in for like the younger crowd. They love to have some pieces around the face, but you'll notice on them, you'll probably also have these cut short as it is already. In this case on her, I feel like if we leave too much of this down, it's going to look a bit formal since her hair is long. So I'm going to pull everything up for today, but know that you could leave some of those hairs. Where I'm noticing that they like them is right in the center, and then right in the mid to low recession, they like a little piece pulled out there too. So same thing we did in the back. We're going to take our hands and organically start to pull this up and towards that back section. I'm going to like separate that a little bit. There we go. I want to give it a little twist because I want that stuff to stay separate from one another. Give a little texture there. And now we're going to wrap this hair, but this time what we're going to do, lift this stuff up and wrap underneath it. And now we're going to just keep wrapping, leaving some curls out here, leaving some little bits, little tendrils there. You can see that wrapped really nicely. So what I'm going to look for here is, where do I need to pin down so this stuff doesn't come undone? So I'm going to place, in this situation, I'm placing 2 fingers because I've got these wrapping and going in both directions. So I'm going to take 2 fingers, set it down, and I'm going to do a sewing motion. Hold still, girlfriend. I'm going to go in, turn it, and then go under. So what that's going to do is grab onto everything there. So I'm going to come behind my back finger, move towards my front finger that's pressed in. Now I'm going to wrap and push back. And that's going to hold that nice and tight in there for us. Now we're just going to take all these little extra tendrils that are down and start to pin them up where we think that they would look good. So I'm going to lift this one up here. The messier, the better. So like those of you that are, you got to make everything balanced and you get, I know you, I see you in classes when I go out and teach, you're like, you want it to be messy? No, yeah, you can give it balance, but keep it messy. That's what we're looking for space buns. So here on the side, you can see I've got these tendrils coming down, and right here is the center of my bun. So I actually want to lift this curl up and wrap it into there, just to give a little cohesiveness to all those little curls sticking out. So that's our left side. Now let's go to the other side. So we're going to do the same exact thing we just did. Diagonal forward line. For those of you that might be joining us now, here's what we did on the opposite side. We've got our curl set in. We combed it, raked it out with our fingers. Now from the top, like crown, I'm going to take a diagonal forward section that's going to come all the way up into the front hairline, because we want this stuff to be nice and like snug and lifted. And then this will be more of like our accent and help give us a little additional volume. So I'm going to clip that out of our way for right now. Coming back here. There we go. I'm going to use our hands. If you have long fingernails, bonus. If you don't, you'll still be able to do this look. And we're going to start from the bottom, combing upwards and lifting all of this hair up. If I give you a little side shot here too. Do you know when high versus low space buns would work better for your guest? Yeah, I would say it depends like what they are doing that day, and like how playful you want them, how much they need to stay in. So like, are they going to be really active? But also I would look at their side profile. So look at them from the side in the mirror and see, like, do we want to follow the jawline? Do we want to follow the cheekbone? Will it look good brought down because they've already got like some nice lift and we're looking to build some width on the sides of their face here? There's so many different ways you can put these. And what I would do is, just like we're kind of grabbing this hair and raking it up, we can set it on top of their head and look at them in the mirror and say, does it look better forward? Does it look better backwards? Is it going to look better down here? So you can sort of go in and place that yourself and see what they like as well. So it's really not a one size fits all. I love that question. But feel free to just kind of lift it up and plop it on them and see how it looks. So now I've got this up in the top corner. I've got 2 elastics. I always grab 2 just in case one breaks down during the process. We're going to wrap this around our ponytail once, and then we're going to start to give this a twist. So instead of wrapping, we're going to give it a twist, pull the ponytail back through here, boom. And then we are going to pull from the front of this ponytail to tighten it back up to the top. So it'll look like this. We'll pull from the front, which will lift it up and give it a little pop. So now we've got that. I'm going to step onto this side. We're going to wrap this into a bun. We want to, just like the other side, leave some of these little curls out at the end. So I'll take it. I'm going to put my hand underneath and fold and give it a little wrap. We're not looking for perfection. Remember, messy. Space buns are messy. You can still get balanced messy for those of you. Scalp sensitive clients, irritating after all. You're talking about nails. Yeah, for sure. I try not to scrape my nails against people's head because I know that they don't like that. I agree. Or yeah. Okay, so now let's check her out from the front because I'm kind of working blind here. Let's get her in the front. Ooh, okay. Balance is looking pretty decent right now. So we're going to look to, when we pull this back, to get that balance on the same side. So now we'll pull up from the front. And when we do this, this is a thing that I like about space buns, is you can give a little bit more volume to these little tendrils sticking out by wrapping this around and underneath the original pieces. So we're going to do that as well. So last time, to give a little bit more texture in the front, same thing, we used our fingers, started to rake it up and back, not using a brush or a comb at the moment. Separating that in half. Give it a little twist so we keep some texture up front. And now I'm going to grab and start to wrap this under our original bun. So we'll wrap this up and around. Here we go. Like before, when we take our 2 fingers, wherever our fingers are holding, so I've got 2 fingers, I actually can hold this with 1 finger here. We're going to take our pin and put your pin right where your finger is. How did we do the orange money piece? So her color formula, she actually has Redken Peach Pastel all over. And then that money piece is Pulp Riot's Nuclear. It's a really pretty orange. Okay, let's pull this back to the front so I can see this bun is a little bit higher than this one. So we can give this one a little lift, pull out some pieces, or I can twist back some little curly tendrils. Here we go, just set up there. And then again, anytime you can just put one finger in, or even two, if you need two fingers, what I recommend is taking the pin, putting it down underneath your back finger to the front finger, and then folding it and coming back through. And that'll sort of sew it into place so that it locks in better. So there we go. Nice and quick. You can imagine if you weren't explaining this, how fast you could get these little space buns in. So again, it can look more like an updo. It can look more playful. You could separate these more, pull them forward, pull them backwards. There's a lot of different things that you could do here. So this is just a nice, fun little updo. We could take a couple more shots of our color. If you had, imagine you did a balayage or something where you've got color underneath, you could show off your pieces underneath. And there is that. So she is finished. And I also had for somebody on here, I think it was Tara, said that they don't have a lot of hair. So I would love to show at least one side of a space bun on hair that's a little bit shorter and a little bit less dense. So I'm going to take our gal here. Thank you so much, Diane. And I'm going to set her aside. And let's pull this little blondie in. So I actually have run a flat iron over here, over her. And this will be a little bit more of like a Gen Z style too. So I feel like your millennial gals, your Gen Zs can wear that too, but they like to wear their hair straight a little bit more. And we can do a half up, half down. So let's do a half up, half down space bun. I'm going to get this one. I'm going to clip our right side out of the way for right now and just work on the left side. So I'm going to take first and do two like cornrow type sections. Again, we talked about how the younger gals like to pull out some little bits around the hairline. So we'll leave that out. And we're going to do, like I said, a half up, half down kind of space bun. And we're going to take some sections right on top of the head. I'm actually going to use my comb so I get a nice section here, because I want this to be nice and straight, and I want to comb through it so that we don't get too much messy texture. And now I'm going to take a little Redken spray wax, formerly known as Wax Blast, just to give some extra grip onto this section. So we're going to twirl this section back. If you've got some butterfly clips, that's fun. But we're going to give this a little twirl. You can do a twist. You can twirl it under. But it is important that you give it a little bit of a twist so that these sections stay separate. And then I've got my elastic again. I'm going to wrap, twist, 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 wrap around again. I'm going to give that actually one more little wrap there. There you go. Tighten it down. Now we're going to take a second one. Again, I'm using my Sambia tail comb so I can get nice sections here. And then I'll hit this with a little spray wax as well for some extra hold. I will just put these two in. Another thing that I have noticed is on trend is to do half ponytails, but still leave some hair in front of the ears. So again, we're going to twist, twist, twist this section. I haven't done those twists. I know it's coming back, and I'm telling you, if you have butterfly clips too, this is it. This is, I love that. I love the throwback to the stuff that we did when we were younger. All right, trying to grab some elastics here. I'm going to grab two again, just in case one breaks down. There we go. Okay, so here is going to be the key part to this. And this is why I talked about, like, maybe someone that doesn't have a lot of hair. This is a great technique that you can do. Or someone that has shorter hair as well, you can do this. So we've got these two twists because we're just adding a little extra flair to it. And now I'm going to combine the two twists. The twisting part is important in this situation, as opposed to just pulling them back into little ponytails, because we're going to combine them, but I do want them to stay separate on top of the head. So we do want them to stay separate looking. So that twist that we give helps them stay separate. So now we're going to take these two. Behind these ponytail holders, we're going to combine. So what will happen for us, twist, 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 come back through, is that we're going to have a little opening here. Now, blast from the past again, because we're going to do a topsy-turvy, my friend. I know you remember topsy-turvies. And what we're going to do is take this ponytail. So this ponytail could be pretty short is the idea here, or we could have somebody that doesn't have a lot of hair. We're going to twist it through. And what we want to do is have this hair that we're looping through here, because we don't need a lot, but we want it to pull up and forward. Something like that. So again, we've got our two ponytails. We combined them. We have a little bit of a gap. I'm going to pull this ponytail through. And we can start to fan that out and just pop some pins in. So this is a way that you can do, you get great volume from it, because the flip under will give some good volume. And you've got a lot of hold too. So because you've got the two ponytails and an additional one holding them together, for somebody that doesn't have a lot of hair, maybe the hair is short, you've got a lot of this holding itself together. So taking another pin, I'm going to piece in here. I want to pull this stuff down. So I'm going to sew my pin in and try to cross that original pin so that everything holds in place. And now you've got like, you do have extra hair here. So if you want to make it extra 90s, you could go through and flat iron some of this hair, or even like flip it up here, put a pin on it and flat iron it, which is cute, a cute look. And what I would do is take a little hairspray, extra wax blast, something like that, and give some additional texture up here. So just another way to get some hold, get a little space bun in here that's shorter. I think my safety feature turned off my flat iron. Get it back on there. And maybe we can flat iron a couple little bits here. So like I said too, you could flat iron some bits. If you've got butterfly clips as well, you could pop those in. You could even come back here. You can see that if we really look, we can see that ponytail holder, because I used a black one. It would be so cute if you have these little ends to pop a butterfly clip underneath, flat iron these, and give it like a total 90s look. So just a couple ideas for ways to turn it up, turn up the volume and make it. I have started to see, have y'all started to see people flat ironing the ends again? Thanks, Katie. Never seen that hair hack before. Yeah. All right, so I hit you up here with two different space bun looks. You should be able to, and I mean, you can see how quickly we did them. So again, when it comes to like photographing your guest and just getting another look, or just hanging out with them for a little bit longer and playing, or even showing them how to do something like this for someone in their life. It's a nice, fun little technique. There we go. Look at that. It's giving 90s prom. There it is. All right. So there is our second gal. And here was our first one. So you can see a little bit more formal, curly look, and then more of a 90s TikTok girl vibe. All right. Well, I appreciate you being out this morning. Hi, Andrew.
This is awesome. What a blast from the past, right? And it's so cool that the trends that were very much my generation, you know, the late 1900s, as the kids like to say. I love how they're coming back, and
yes,
a whole fresh twist to them too. It's so awesome.
I know. I love seeing. I feel like both of these are giving Spice Girl vibes too. Like got a little Jerry Halliwell and a little Baby Spice here. So
absolutely. Awesome. I love it, Twylla. Once again, you always make education so fun. You made these very, very easy to follow. I feel like these are things that, even if you don't have a lot of styling experience, these are things that would be pretty easy to try. So thank you for making it so simple.
Thank you.